Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Elder Rawchaa from G.O.C.C. Media with a special guest in the house today. We live at 5, like we say in H-Town. Guess what, man? We finna have some fun today. I told you guys it was coming. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Praise to the Most High, man. This is Qadam Rawchaa. Some of y'all know me as Deacon Qadam Rawchaa. On the rap, you know, it's Q Dizzle. You know what I'm saying? Qadam Rawchaa is just a humble servant. Hey, you know, we in this thing for the Most High. All praise to the Most High. How you?
So yes, guys, man, this is the first epic interview on G.O.C.C. Media on my show. You understand, on Tuesday night. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that like button. You understand. Of course, you already know we got the Goldback Gorilla on the camera. We are in Tazaba Studio. You understand. So listen, we are actually having fun.
Yes,
We're not trying to keep them quiet as a mouse. If they want to laugh, let them laugh. You understand? You understand? We just being ourselves, and we bringing forth the works of the kingdom of the Most High.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So I've been waiting on this interview. You understand? And I know you guys have been too. And we have a lot more to come. Listen, don't just think it's just this. It's a whole lot more to come, a whole nother plan. It's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. But I got tired of waiting. I said, listen, it's time to go ahead and get it started, right? The people are waiting. We're not promised tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So, Qadam.
Yes, sir.
First off, while we in here, there was just a crazy fight last night with some Israelites. With some Israelites. And you know what? I'm a fan of both of these hard-working brothers. You understand? I pray they come to the truth one day. Javonte, what's the other brother's name? Brian Garcia. Man, go ahead and come to the truth, man. Listen, I was happy praising the Most High. The brother said, you know, he was repping Christ. Javonte, we got to get you over here too, my brother. He came out to Chief Keef. I was like, man, what is going on? I haven't seen Chief Keef in ages.
10 years.
Matter of fact, man, somebody did like a little meme saying like if Javonte was to come out to Lil Uzi Vert, he's like, I just want to rock, and he was just dancing all in front like how Puffy used to do for the video.
God.
You understand? So, man, what you think about that fight, man?
Hey, the fight was spectacular, man. It's good that Ryan Garcia, he actually pushed the fight. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for him, it probably wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
Really? He pushed that fight?
He pushed for the fight to happen.
I didn't know
But
that.
see, a lot of people try to cherry pick their fights, what they call it, and you know, just pick the opponents they know they gonna beat. You know what I mean? But it was a beautiful fight, spectacular fight. I like both of them brothers. You know what I mean? But hey, the better man won that night. You know what I mean? And hopefully they got, you know, bright futures for both of them. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I was afraid that you know, and it was the best man win for me, but I actually was going for Ryan, not Ryan, excuse me, I don't want to mess nobody up. They like Elder. No, believe it or not, I was going for Tank, because I seen, you know, his beginnings and everything like that, and I was like, man, the only thing, Tank, don't get caught with the left hook.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know one thing I love about Judah, man, like, we can look ghetto, we can look thuggish, we can look certain ways for our downfall, and you can think that we don't have no knowledge. Yeah. Boy will be a straight genius at what he do. God. Straight intelligent. He'll come out looking like a thug, be a straight scientist.
God.
And so when I seen him knock Ryan Garcia down the first time,
God.
I'm not gonna lie to you, he ducked that hit. And it was like a Tyson to me. Like it reminded me like a small little pit bull Tyson. Yeah. And I think Ryan Garcia was shocked. What y'all think?
Well, see, this is the thing, right? Because like I said, I used to box right back in the day. So a lot of people will just talk out the side of their neck, not knowing what they're talking about. But some people will say, well, look at Rolly Romero, the first 5 rounds, Tank was losing or whatever. Tank studies his opponent for like the first 4 or 5 rounds. After that, he unleashes on them and capitalizes on their mistakes and makes them pay. You understand? That's the name of the game. So the thing is, he was watching Ryan Garcia. You understand? I knew if Ryan Garcia won, it would have had to been in the first 4 or 5 rounds. After that, I knew it wasn't going past 8. And when he ducked that and hit him, you understand? The thing that's crazy about Tank is that we ain't seen the best of Tank yet. You know what I mean? And he always beats his opponent in different ways depending on their style. And what makes him great is his ability to be versatile and to change. You understand? So Ryan Garcia, you see in his training videos, he was holding his right up to block that left hook, but Tank beat him by going to the body, and he ended up, whooping him with the body blow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Ryan wasn't ready for that. So
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I was like, dang, Ryan being a champion, I think that it looked weak how he went down. But when you sit back and you're like, well, I'm not taking that hit that he took, and you got like, man, they look like a crazy liver blow. He was hitting them to the body the whole night. And you know why I got a little mercy on the brother? Because I mean, first of all, he our brother. Not only that, he was real humble. They both was real humble, and they showed a lot of good sportsmanship last night, man. We got to watch you that Officer McGunn grill. We had the whole team out there. We had the whole team out there just enjoying it. And this is the part as Israelites that they don't like to show, that we can actually be deeper than deep, and just get totally alone. People from all over the place, all different parts of the world, different. It used to be the south side against the north side and the east side against the west side.
Couldn't be from Dallas.
Right? And speaking of Dallas, I also want to give a shout out to TTK, to the Kingdom. I want to give a shout out to Brother Terrence, who guides them, right? From Dallas, from the Dallas body, because the people, this is what it's about. We just spoke this in the lesson last Sabbath. It's about one body, one mission. And listen, that's their talent. Great singers, great gospel singers. You understand? And listen, we doing this in our own way, our own style, our own. Now, obviously, we have some influence from our community, but it's time for us to brush it up and make it righteous. Because listen, I'm happy to be having this interview today with my brother, because that music industry, nothing against it. I mean, we got our favorites when we was young. We still got some of our favorites, but it's dying down. The artificial intelligence is taking over it. Yeah. I knew that when auto-tune came in, that people would overuse it and abuse it and make it to where we got comfortable to where now it's like robots. It's like you could say, I got Jay-Z on the track, but it's actually not Jay-Z. It's actually artificial intelligence. God. And people are now going to have to probably patent their voices and all type of things. But God, I don't want to fight that war with them over there. I'm focusing on the Most High and what we're dealing with here. God. And we have our own world inside of this world. So without further ado, I have Deacon Qadam here. You understand? And we're going to go into my first question here. I got them written down, okay? So I'm not going to try to act fake on here like everything is perfect, coming from the dome. Can it? Yes, but I want the interview to flow really smooth.
But I don't know what he's going to ask me, because he hadn't given me these questions yet. So it's going to be straight up organic. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So the first question I'm going to ask the brother is, well, first of all, where are you originally from?
I'm from Houston, Texas, man. Born and raised. Hey, Houston, Texas, Southwest side.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we both from the Southwest. I probably shouldn't have got this old tattoo on me. The SWAT. I probably shouldn't have got this old Southwest A-Leaf, Texas tattoo on me. But yeah, I'm actually from Louisiana, and I was born and raised here. So that's crazy, man. That's a blessing, man. So
But then here's the crazy part, though. I didn't get a chance to meet Elder before he went overseas. He started a church down here, but he went overseas, and I came in around 2011, a few years after he left. But when I seen the tattoo on his arm when he came back, I'm like, man, SWAT, that's where I'm from. I'm from Spice Lane. I started on Spice Lane till 6th grade. My mama moved us out of there because people was getting shot and all that, right? So Southwest A-Leaf, Texas. I seen the tattoo. I'm like, man, that's SWAT. Like, oh, look. Yes, sir. So it's crazy in the spirit,
So how was it for you growing up in this city, like, before the truth? Like, I like, what were some of the challenges that you faced growing up, like, before the truth? Like, and what are some of the things that you learned, and just some of the obstacles you may have went through?
Well, it's crazy because I know the Ghetto Boys when I was growing up. Like I said, I might be showing my age, right? But it's like the Ghetto Boys had a song called "The World Is a Ghetto," and it's like really on the cool. See, I grew up in the '80s. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up during when New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, when the crack epidemic first hit. We know that was a systemic oppression for our people. You understand? It went from the cocaine to the crack. So my mama told me that Third Ward, right, is one of our neighborhoods. That's one of the worst neighborhoods now. But she told me that it used to be called the Black River Oaks. She said because it was so many black prosperous people until they put the crack out. They said the cocaine was like a high dollar luxury drug, but then when they put the crack out, that was like basically a biological warfare on our people, right? So then I grew up in the era after that. After they put the Reagan with the war on drugs, so on and so forth, quote unquote, and so it was terrible. Like my mama used to tell me, like, look, you can't walk down this street past this time. You can't go here. You need to get your hair cut on this street at this time, but you can't go here because his dad or they had some sisters raped who was in 6th grade or 5th grade. They got raped the other day, so you got to do this. Like I said, I came up on Spice Lane, so they was wearing and then the morning news announcements, right, at the school, they would be like, well, you can't wear this starter jacket. You can't wear red starter jackets or Dallas starter jackets because it's blue, and you got to go through the metal detector or whatever the case, and people getting shot in the schools and the movie theaters or whatever. So it was crazy.
I remember the metal detectors. I was going to Ollie Middle School in my time. They had metal detectors.
God. So it was crazy, you know what I mean? But it's like when I look at that and I look at the curses, you can look at boys in Africa or boys in South America, and they going through the same thing or worse than we going through in the States. And it's like, that song stands true. The world is a ghetto. But yes, it was crazy. Yeah.
Okay, great.
It was a jungle, like y'all say, huh? It was a jungle.
So, following that, how did that lead you to the truth? How did you come into the truth?
Well, I mean, we're keeping the story short. I really, like I said, we used to, me and my clique or whatever, my group of friends we had, because I grew up with the gang banging thing, you know what I mean? But we even had a smaller clique inside the gang banging, and we used to kick dough, rob drug dealers, you know what I mean? And through that, I got in a situation that went wrong, you know what I mean? And it didn't go how it was planned, and we basically going to war with some rivals or whatever the case. So I was laying low.
Don't say their name, because we want you to keep doing the work. They see this video. That's that boy right there.
We going to war, and then it's like through that, basically the Most High had gave me a revelation, and he showed me, another dimension, you know what I mean? And it basically what happened was I ended up going to jail, long story short. And when I was in jail, I prayed to the Most High before I got out, because it was the first time I had been sober in some months. And I said, like, in the Christian church, they teach you that whatever you want will be prosperous if you just put the Most High first. But then I said, well, that can't be true, because if I wanted to if I was putting the Most High first, then his will be my will. So I'm like, well, if his will is my will, then what I want to do ain't important. Let me ask him what he want me to do. You understand? So I said, Father, show me when I get out. Like, I was scared to get out on the cool, because I didn't want to be tempted by the drugs and by the fornication. I said, so Father, show me what your will is. I said, show me truth. Show me what your will is for me in my life. And I promise I'll serve you without turning back. And when I got out, I was going to the Christian church, but I kept getting pulled out for some reason. And then people was hitting me with the Egyptology. And I almost got knocked off of that, because he was telling me, like, oh, you a sun worshiper. Christians are sun worshipers. But then my homeboy, who I was actually cripping with in the streets way back in the day, he started showing me the truth from G.O.C.C. And I started, he ended up leading me to the Bible Academy. And after that, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? So, yes, sir.
Okay. So, how long have you been an artist?
Shoot, I think since I was born. Like, you know what I mean? If you talking about an artist, and I'm glad you said that word artist, because it's like, since I was born, I remember being like 4 or 5 years old, and like we used to reenact some scenes from movies, me and my little brother, and Mike G. Shout out Mike G. Rawchaa, you know what I'm talking about? He in Egypt right now. You know my brother, but we used to reenact scenes from movies and stuff. I used to love music. My mama bought me a little keyboard when I was like 7 or 8. And I used to listen to music on the radio and play the tunes to it and like record stuff and then try to sell my tapes in 5th grade at school or whatever. So it's like, I love the beats first, and then I started rapping. I started like in 6th grade, I remember getting off the bus and like trying to be like, hey, can I freestyle all the way to the house? And I walk like a 15-minute, 20-minute walk to the house. And I just try to flow without stopping all the way to the house. And then You know, that's where it started. So I say for my whole life, you know.
So that definition of freestyle, because some maybe don't know that. When I was young, it was the story is very similar. But the definition of freestyle that you would give for, I guess I would say Houstonians. What do you say in your time that because the freestyle can be a little bit. It's different ways that different people do it. It doesn't not mean we do it better, they do it better, or do it less, but just showing your time, what was considered freestyle down here?
Well, like I say, what's considered freestyle down here is straight off the dome.
What is straight off the dome for the new people? Because we may have some, other nations that's watching and they like straight off of the dome.
Yeah, Urban Dictionary, right? Straight off the dome, aka creating it impromptu on the spot, with having nothing written, not knowing what you're about to say next. It's just being created in the spur of the moment, in the spirit, right? So you'll see a lot of artists, like when they get on Sway or whatever, or 106 and Park, whatever, you see these artists flow. Even in the battle rap competitions, they'll flow, right? They'll rap, but all the stuff is written and they memorize it. So another context of being a freestyle is when they say like, hey, you're freestyling, you can write it and memorize it, but you're just going off of whatever subject that you want to create. Like for instance, if Lion and King tell me, hey, I got a song about oppression, I need you to write about oppression, right? Well, I need to stick on that subject matter. But if they say, well, you can just talk about whatever you want to talk about, I can still write a flow and memorize it, but it'll be a freestyle about just whatever I wanted to say at the time. And that's also a freestyle in the new day and age terms, right? Because I'm just speaking not on one subject, but just randomly, right? But we used to just go off the top of the head, right?
And I wasn't asking that question to be negative, but I just wanted to educate some of the people when it comes to music, because now music is a little different. We're never here to say what's better and what's not. We're just saying that things change and they transition. So, like he said, when I was young, I used to love East Coast artists, but I knew that I'm like, hold up, there's no way. Like a few people have that talent, but I was like, how they going for 10 minutes? And it's just like, because down here we like, hold up, the brain don't work like that. It's like you make a mistake sometime and you have to kind of catch yourself back. But tonight, we got a surprise tonight. And he's actually going to be giving us a freestyle. And I personally asked for the written type. He can do both, but because we have different viewers and sometimes we don't know what we're going to say, we kind of want to stay on subject and just give the talent that the Most High blessed the brother with. But the next question I have is...
Hey, but on that note, though, last year, I don't know if you was there, Taza Bob, we was flowing at Tabernacles.
Oh, yeah, I was there.
Hey, your elder got flow. He going off the top of the dome, off the top of the dome, and had everybody in there like, oh, like
Twisted, boy.
Right, straight up.
But as an artist though, like you said, when I'm doing a song, I rather do the best I can do. Like if I rather erase and say, what's the best I can possibly give to the Most High. So writing it is an amazing art form as well. But so anyway, yeah, that's the next thing I want to ask. Okay. How was the transition from worldly music to truth music? I mean, great question for many artists,
That's a great question. It's a great question, right? Because, excuse me, hey, y'all be hearing me do that, right? In my music, that be for real. And when the ad-lib, I just start keeping it in the music. But going from the transition from the worldly to the truth, y'all got to understand that this music is a weapon, right? So in the scriptures, it said that when Israel used to go on a battle, they used to sing. They would have the priests singing, and they would have priests that was just trained up, and all they did was practice music. They would blow the ram's horn, and they would have so many lined up in a particular fashion. And sometimes that they would the enemy of Philistines would hear the shout from Israel and the music or the Ark of the Covenant, and they would flee just from that, right? So Satan understands that, being that he used to sing up the sun. So he uses this against us. So that music is a very powerful weapon. So I was stuck on the Lil Waynes and the T.I.s and the Method Mans and the Wu-Tangs and the so on and so, you name it, right? And coming in this truth, I saw that was a hindrance, because my first few years in the truth, I was still jamming worldly music. And I'm like, well, when I got the lesson from Elder Rawchaa, he's like, well, if you're putting these negative things in your spirit, these things, it's like a hypnotization.
Yeah.
You talking about, look at Lil Jon when he say, throw your hood up, or, you know what I'm saying, clap your fist, or slide a dude, or whatever the case may be. And you see people in the club fighting and throwing their hood up and getting in all this madness just from what the song is saying. So I'm like, man, I got to stop putting that in my spirit. So I'm like, man, I'm going to commit to just jamming truth music. And I started jamming Bronze.
Shout out to Bronze.
Brother Bronze, been in it since before I've been in the truth 12 years.
G.O.C.C. California.
God, when I came in, he had been doing it. I'm like, who is this brother, right? So Lion and King, right, they was in it. Pioneers, been doing it. Numerous artists who had been doing it. I was like, man, I started hearing their music. I'm like, man, hold up. It was different than the Christian music. I'm like, these brothers is coming hard with it. They talking about knowledge. I didn't know what a Philistine was when I got into it. I'm like, man, look. I'm like, what is a Philistine? What is a... So I'm like, I had to study. I'm like, look, let me study, right? And then Aquan, shout out to my brother.
Shout out to Aquan.
He had a studio in his house. I had been in the truth like 2.5 years. And he was like, man, we need to start dropping. And I was like, man, okay, you know, but I wanted to make sure I had my knowledge up before I started, you know, putting information, edification on a track. So after that, it was a wrap. I'm like, look, the world can't compare to us making music that brings life to our people instead of death to our people. You understand? And once you make that, once you understand that, it's like it's an easy transition. This is talking about kill. The devil come to what? John 10:10, come to kill, steal, and destroy. But Christ come that you may have life and what? Have life more abundantly. So that's what the true music is versus the worldly music.
That was powerful, man. That was powerful. And in my opinion, an artist should take time when it comes to the truth, get his studies up, prove who he is. And there's nothing wrong if you just come doing music if that's going to keep your soul safe. But it's nice for you to really gain a foundation and show your walk so that when people hear your music, that they can actually like say, hey, you know what? This is that person who I'm actually listening to, right? My next question is, who are some of your biggest influences? Well, I think you just named it. But I'll ask it again. Who are some of your biggest influences music-wise? Like, just to, because you know, sometimes like when we were playing basketball, I would watch Jordan, and then you know Kobe learned from Jordan, and then now you have a LeBron James. So it's nothing wrong with that. We all get influenced in a great way. But who were some of your influences? Not saying that you're doing that style now, but who were some of your influences growing up? I know you mentioned
influences in the rap or just period.
Yeah, I'm talking about in music right now. I know you mentioned like Wu-Tang. You mentioned a lot of people who I used to listen to because when living in Houston, I done came down, I done broke some boys off, and guess what? I'm not against that, but I was trying to get a deal myself and things like that. So, but I was trying to be universal. So I started to listen to people like you said, T.I. and Lil Wayne. But who were some of your influences, or was it the same people you mentioned earlier?
Well, like I say, it's funny, right? Because like I said, we had DJ Screw down here, so we had the Little Kikis and the Big Hog and Fat Pat and all them, right? So of course we listened to that. But I think what kind of set me apart from other people who was freestyling is I did listen to East Coast. Like I had an appreciation for music, period. Yeah. So like if it was good music, it didn't matter to me as long as it was good music. So like on the cool, I had songs I liked from Green Day. I had songs I liked from Nirvana. I had songs I liked from Jay-Z, from Wu-Tang, from Method Man, to Cal. I remember Method Man had an album called To Cal, right? Method Man. And when I was going to school flowing these things in 6th grade, everybody looking at me like I'm a sellout. Like, bro, like, you got Star-Stuck Pants on with a, you know what I mean? But you rapping it to Cal and Method Man, like you jamming the East Coast, bro, you done sold out. I would listen to Daz, Dillinger, and all these different coasts if it was good music. And then like the Aretha Franklins, you talking about old school music, Earth, Wind, and Fire and these things. My mama used to dance with me to the records playing with Aretha Franklin and Earth, Wind, and Fire, Ozzy Brothers. So it's like, I got an ear for good music, and that's what kind of set me apart. When I would rap and freestyle, people would be like, you kind of sound like you from another coast. But it was just being versatile, and that's the Holy Spirit if you really look at it like that. So,
and we can hear that in some of your music. I mean, I hear a lot of Tupac. Was Tupac an influence?
Oh yeah, like no. So you just looking at a straight influence, yeah, definitely Tupac, for sure. Definitely Tupac, Big Pokey. Who else? Like I say, of course, you know, Lil Wayne, Jeezy, right? J-Dog. A lot of y'all don't know J-Dog, but J-Dog is a popular Houston rapper. Look, he's shaking his head like, yeah. J-Dog is a popular Houston rapper, and yeah, you know, but all the coast, but definitely Tupac. If I had to name a number one influence on my music, it would be Tupac.
I mean, it's almost like California and Houston was like brother and sister.
That's I-10 Connect.
It was like it was like we was from the same place. I mean, we were pretty much dressing like Californians with Dickies, and you know what I mean. Like it was like so. It was so much family, I should say. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to show off my chain itching me a little bit, but it was so much like family. So it's funny he says that, because I'm like, I have to ask the brother did Tupac influence him, because Houston was like, when Tupac died, they was like, they ready to tear the whole city up. And you know, that I think that part kind of separated us, which we should never have been, from the East Coast to a certain degree. Because when you really go back now and listen to the stories of everything, you hear that, you know, and I don't know if it's true, but that Tupac and Biggie were trying to escape both of their record labels to do something together. And they talking behind the scenes like, they got us doing this and doing that. We playing a part of it so they don't kill us. But really, we, you know what I mean? Like, everything is in Suge Knight's name when it comes to the Tupac's cars. And Puffy is pretty much taking advantage, allegedly, of Biggie. Now, I wasn't there to know all of this stuff was going on, but as a kid, this is just what we heard. And so sometimes we were feeling bad about when people say the South can't do this or do that. And you know what? I think the Most High was even in that, though, brother. You know why I say that? And I'm not talking about, because I love East Coast music. Like, I literally fashion some of my music and some of my writing to try not to just be simple. But this is the thing. Some of the small amount of individuals that were there that was cocky and trying to say these negative things about, because we like the East Coast until they start saying things like, hey, the South can't do it. We like, hold up now, we ride. We know that's where hip hop came from. But what does every beat sound like now? Southern music. They couldn't even sell any more records. Everything is on a trap beat.
Fat Joe said that.
Yeah. And there you go. Fat Joe had said, because, you know, you have some people who are real on the East Coast to admit, like, hey, at the end of the day, though, guys, we're all one. Diversity for me is the perfection. It's just to sound like only the South, or just to sound like only East Coast or West Coast. I think we can't have that type of attitude. But, you know, one-dimensional artists sometimes get frustrated because they would hear a person like Qadam or another person, and they're like, I don't understand it. Hip-hop is supposed to be like this. But listen, really, everyone brings their own creativity from the Holy Spirit. So I just thought that was funny, man, that you said Tupac. But anyway, how did that video, man, how did you become a part of that video, Meet You Down? I'm only asking because some people may not know.
Hey, now that's a deep question, right? Because a lot of people, like I say, fun facts, a lot of people may not know. So, like I say, all right, so when I first came into Truth, I think I had been in maybe about 4 years. That video was shot in about 2015. And the brother, it was a brother from Dallas, right? Peasy, who had came in, and I had did a song. Basically, he had a buzz at the time, so I reached out to him to do a song. He featured me on one of his songs, and then he reached out to me to do a song. And then he called me out the blue one day and was like, hey, it's a brother down here who's new in the truth. His name is Rawchaa, and he was like, look, he got this song called Meet You Down. And look, a lot of y'all don't know, but originally John Boy was supposed to be on Meet You Down for the third verse. But Peasy told, look, hey, I don't know, y'all may not know this, but Peasy told Rawchaa, was like, look, get this Qadam on your song. And John Boy had been doing a rap way before me, you understand? So Rawchaa ain't know me. He was like, man, I don't know this brother. And Peasy told the brother, like, look, trust me, Qadam gonna rate the song. Like, put Qadam on the verse instead of John Boy. So I'm like, so he called me, and it was funny, right? Because he called me on the Day of Atonement, and I was fasting. But I had did a 2-day fast instead of a 1-day fast. So when he called me, I had just got my studio in my house. He was like, man, look, boom, boom, boom. He broke it down to me. I'm like, bet. He like, man, the brother's talking about shooting a video to this and everything. At the time, people weren't shooting true videos. He's like, yeah, he gonna shoot $1,000 video. I'm like, okay, bet. Send me the song. So when I heard the beat, I was kind of intimidated because I'm like, man, this thing go hard. You know what I'm saying? Just the drums, because the brother had made the beat, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken, but I think Rawchaa made that beat. And just the drums, something just sounded right. And I had wrote my verse in like one day at work. The next day I was still fasting. I went to work, wrote, and that's why I say on the beginning of the song, I'm like, hey, right after the Day of Atonement, beat finna get afflicted. It could right? So it's like, and it's like the Father, but
so that helps us to understand a little bit better.
Right, but a lot of y'all know, right? I don't take no credit for my verses. Like I pray to the Father, I anoint myself in a lot of these songs. I pray to the Father, send His Spirit. And a lot of times you get these bars, and y'all know, Lion and King, y'all know as artists, sometimes you get these bars and you be like, man, where did that come from? And you be like,
wow,
man,
that's amazing.
Praise the Most High. You be like, man, they go hard. Thank you, Father. Boom, thank you, Father. Boom, thank you, Father. And I'm at work at 6 a.m. in the morning, just writing this verse. And I had wrote that verse in like a day. I sent it back in like 2 days. And when I sent it back, they was like, bro, you blazed on that. And they was like, you feel me? So then we shot the video like a year later or something, 6 months later, and that was it, you know. So all praises.
Man, that was amazing because sometimes I told my wife, I said, man, throughout the years of being an artist, I'll have something that comes in my head, and it was like, that ain't me. I'm like, while I'm asleep, I'm like, but I'll be tired. and you know, and the times I do get up to write it, that be the hardest songs too. Not like the other songs gonna be hard, but it's like, sometimes I will frustrate myself because when I was lazy to not get up and write what was in my head, I'm trying to remember it. And then guess what? Every now and then it'll pop back in my head. And because I'm doing something, I won't write it down. And then I'll try to remember it and I can't remember it. And so from now on, when I would hear it, my wife would be like, what you doing up? Hey, something came in my head, it dropped. I might not even drop that song for 6 months, but I had to write that bar down to add to it later. So it's funny that the brother said that. That's just confirmation that the heavens be working with the children of Israel, like literally sending stuff down where you think it's just something regular. It's like, nah, I need you to do that song. For real. Man, that was a great testimony about that. So how did that video affect your truth music career? Do you feel like it played a big part in it? I'm not saying like that made you, but I'm just asking, you know.
Most definitely, because at the time, like for instance, and that's a great question, right? Because as artists, all of our music, it has a personal place in your heart. Like, you think all the music is, you have some part of you is like, man, I love this song for this reason. So as artists, we don't really ever know what song is gonna take off, what song is gonna be viral, what song is gonna get for us, all of it's great music, but it's like, there's a space in between. Like, hey, can I be real and can I just release what I want to release, and will the people like what I want to release? Versus, well, hey, I can make a hit song. I know it's going to be a hit and I can put it out, but am I really feeling it? Am I being true to myself? So it's like, we just put ourselves in the song, but for some reason, some songs take off more than others and some don't.
It be sometimes the one you like, I ain't even like that one that much.
But for some, and then some songs you be thinking like, oh, this is a hit. And that mother don't get no likes, no views. You like, well, what's going on? Like, y'all seen this? I dropped this the other day. It's like, so it's like, you don't know. So it's like, you just never know. But as far as, I definitely believe, because of course, like me going to Passover now, people still be coming up to me who just came into the truth 6 months later and like, hey, meet you down. This the dude who sing Meet You Down, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that ain't even my song on the cool. I featured on the song, but it's like, and I recorded that in my room at the house. But it's like, the Most High has used it to reach a lot of individuals. So at the end of the day, it's all praises to the Most High, right? So that's 1 Peter 4:11.
Listen, my wife told me before we got married that song actually helped bring her to G.O.C.C. So when I thought about that, I thought about it like the little schisms we may get in. You don't know how each person may play a part in the body, like in your own personal life before you even knew anything about this person. Or I'm like, when I sat down and thought about it, I said, man, if this brother didn't make this song or get on this song, what if, I'm not saying certain things when it happened, but it's like, it's certain things that carries us and transitions us to where we have to be for the will of the Most High. So, listen, even though some brothers may not be with us, you know, praise the Most High still for that song to this day, because it played a part in not only my wife's life, and other people who we may not know's lives right now that brought them to this truth. So don't give up on your music. I would just say make sure that you really try your best to make sure that it's the best that you can. Get good quality beats. You understand? And people's preference, we can't tell people how to do their music. If people want to pick a beat off YouTube to do a mixtape, that's you know what I mean? That's on them. Should they be doing different things? Hey, that's for each person to decide. Some people are just coming to the truth. Because personally, I'm from an era of mixtapes. I can't tell you, because we did a track together years ago. It was on the dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
That
was
Peeping in my window.
Yeah, people love that.
You can't tell a brother like if he reminisces and like, man, let's do something to that's wrong. We it's just about balance, man, and we having fun with the Most High's thing. So that's all I'm saying. So y'all just keep bringing it, man, and don't worry about who may not see your work right now. If you're doing it just to see who sees your work, you can get a little discouraged. I'm not gonna lie, but if you just do it for the genuineness of it, don't give a gift grudgingly, like the Most High says. Guess what? In time, when it's your time, the scripture says, wait on your ministry. It's going to happen for you. Please don't be over righteous because I just said one little scripture with my hat on, please. So I'm just saying. But anyway, man, what do you hope people take away from your music?
The Most High. Like, all the music, like I say in 1 Peter 4:11, right? When it speaks about when we speak, let it be of the oracles of the Most High. You understand? And basically the scripture, that whole passage breaks down to when we do anything, when we speak and we prophesy, whatever, let it be at the end of the day to bring back fruits to the Most High, right? Mm-hmm. You see in Matthew chapter 7, verse 20 and 21, Christ said, what? I never knew you, depart from me. But then in verse 20, he says, I will know you by your works, right? So it's like, when you tie that scripture to 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1 through 11, it's like, everything needs to be to bring fruit back to the Father. If you look at John 15 and 1 through 7, right? It speaks about that Christ is the vine, we are the branches, and no man can do any works unless it be through Christ. And then we're gonna bear fruit, but if you abide in the word and the word abide in you, then Christ will make it to where you can bring much fruit back to the Father, right? So it's like, I pray that, because some people will tell you, oh man, you went hard on that verse. Oh yeah, you went hard on that show. Tazabai, you did da. But it be like Satan on the cool be trying to like get you to be prideful and lift up yourself. Oh yeah, I did that. But it's like, nah, you gotta remain humble and like, no, that was for the Spirit of Christ. It was for the Spirit of the Most High. So I always pray that the Most High humble me, let me decrease that he may increase, and that all works may be unto him, that no vanity be in me. You understand? So I pray that they don't hear me, they hear the Most High. If whatever will he has to be done, that will be done. Like, whatever that be, if it be to call somebody to repentance, if it's to put some fear in somebody's heart, if it's to exhort the saints, if it's to bring signs of prophecies, you understand? Whatever will he has, let that will be done. So I just pray that people take away the Most High. You understand? But also, I try to put it in a sense to where, like, for instance, I'll be trying to have my music, like you speak a lot about this, Elder, like Paul say, what? Become all things to all men that you may gain a few. So it's like, I'll be trying to have my music not to sound too, like, I don't want to say too Christian-y, right? But like too, where like anybody can hear it and they just jam to it. Because our people, we love music. 9.5, Israel, Judah, they hear music, they're going to vibe to it, right? But I wanted to have it to where if you playing a track of mine and somebody hop in your car and they in the world, they gonna start bobbing their head to it and be like, man, what is that? Before they know that it's truth music or Christian music or scripture music, and then they gonna get the information. Cause Snoop Dogg had said it one time, and I'm like you say, don't be over righteous, right? But Snoop Dogg had said one time, he was like, man, you could have the coldest music on the earth, but if don't nobody hear it, what good is it? You understand? Yeah. So it's like people have to receive it and hear it and play it and listen to it for them to be able to receive the message. So I wanted everybody to be able to jam it. So sometimes my music, my goal is to be able to reach everyone and have everybody be able to jam it to where, because sometimes you come on just spitting a million scriptures and people will cut it off just because they think, oh, this is Christian music or whatever. But I wanted to have good music with the word in it, you understand? And
right.
So basically, by the end of the day, taking away the Most High, though.
You know, that's funny you say that, because devilish music or worldly music, believe it or not, it appeals to even religious people.
God.
Unfortunately, our music needs to be that powerful where people in the truth, the so-called truth, or followers of Christ listen to it, believe it or not, and people in the world.
Exactly. God.
Because how are we going to say the devil is that great where I was just like I was listening to, because I was in the street life, and when I seen Elder Rawchaa preaching hard, that's what brought me to the truth, because I didn't need no soft stuff. I'm not saying I'm the hardest guy, but what you're doing at that moment in time, that may be what you need to call you through of whatever you're going through in your life. I wasn't going through anything soft. I'm sleeping in my car. I'm going through different things, beef. And so it's like that was kind of close to what I was dealing with at that time. So if the world can also listen to our music, now you have to be a little bit of expert at it, though. Because sometimes some people would just end up going back into the world. So, you know what I mean?
KB, yeah.
So you have to have that. You have to pray on that thing, get a little counsel and balance it if you really don't understand it. But being strategic, it's warfare.
God.
Being not being ambiguous, but it's just like doing music in stealth mode.
God.
You understand? So I think what he said is very important, guys, that we try to have balance. I mean, I'll tell you something. There's nothing wrong, guys, with making a little money off your music as well. It's all about the Most High. But if you can get your music on a video game, a soundtrack, that's not a sin.
God.
This is just business. So don't be a little bit too stuck in your shell or over righteous, because someone on a video game may be playing a video game like, because I was playing NBA 2K before, and I heard some guy talking about Zion on there. And I was like, I don't know if that was an NFL game or the basketball game, but they were talking about Zion on there. I'm like, what if I wasn't in the truth and I heard that, and that brought me to something. So it's okay, guys, right? But great. So what advice would you give to aspiring rappers? Yeah, what advice would you give to aspiring rappers?
Just to make sure
that's in the truth, obviously.
Right, just to make sure that
Cause let me tell you, dang, I know they don't like Elder. I really don't like being in this spot, but I'm only saying it because I'm not the person to tell you what you shouldn't be doing. Now, if I feel like it can be a little better, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll tell you, however it comes out respectfully, that I think it can be a little better. Now, some people who've been doing music long enough, I mean, it's hard for them to come whack. It may not be, they know they could have done better, but we can't say now that they're whack. They've been doing music too long and they've proved it. But we're talking about like a lot of new people. The first thing we said, I think earlier, is like, hey, get you a foundation. Don't just come in, get excited, because we have an over influx of rappers, which I'm okay with, as long as the music is, structured nice, it's quality. But I mean, you got your wife trying to rap, your sister, your uncle, everyone. So we got to give them some advice. What advice would you give? I'm gonna leave it alone. This is his interview. What would you give him, my brother?
Well, I would say that in Sirach chapter 4.
Because we did say aspiring.
Yeah.
So people who are just doing it just because, let me reiterate. We're not talking about them. Let us keep it, all jokes aside. Aspiring people who are really going to do what it takes to be the best for the Most High.
Right. Well, you got to remember, right, in Sirach chapter 43, and Ecclesiasticus, right, and the Apocrypha chapter 43, if you read that, the Most High says that, look, I created everything that you see, the seen and the unseen. He's like, the earth is my footstool. He says the best that you could do in your human presence, your body, is not even going to be anything to me. It's not going to please me. He's like, so therefore, in all your praise, do the best that you can do, and it will barely be good enough for me. You understand? So therefore, if I write a feature verse, if I'm writing my album, whatever, I make sure I'm in peak condition, optimal condition to be able to do my best for the Most High, right? So, for instance, the Bible is a spiritual book. When you open it, it gets your spirit right, right? Like Deacon Malak always say, get your mind right, right? You understand? So it's like, for me, I realized, came to find out early on, was that this is the recipe, right, for aspiring artists. For me, of course, is if I'm eating right, not eating dairy and all that, breads and all that, eating high protein, like you know what I mean? Elder Rawchaa say, and all that. If I'm working out, that causes the good blood flow. If I'm studying the word of the Most High, and get good sleep and all that. When I'm doing those things, working out right, studying right, sleeping right, these are when I write the best verses. And me myself, I have supplements and things I take. I find that I write the best in the morning hours, in the first 3 hours of the morning. I write the best at this time. I meditate. I'm not meditate like these weirdos with the yoga stuff, right? But I focus on I like to write my music when I'm in silence. Like I hear the beat and I'll just focus on what the Most High wants me to say. Do scripture memorization. That's meditating, right? You just thinking of the Most High. Pray to the Most High. Before all my music, I anoint myself with oil. I pray that He be with me and give me the words and inspiration what He wants, right? And then I'll write. And sometimes I write 2 or 3 verses to a song and I'll scrap them because they don't go hard enough. I have to write a verse to where I'm like, I like that. That go hard to me. And then that's when I record it. And also when you spit in the studio, you got to memorize your verse. And then the delivery be different, right? So it's like you got to do your best for the Most High. You understand? It say we His bride, right? You want your woman to be the best she can for you. We got to be the best we can for the Most High. So that would be my advice, And honestly, just like you mentioned, in the world, Satan, I ain't gonna lie, Satan got some hits in the world. Like he have a song to come on to make women do all kind of stuff, make people fight, do all kind of stuff. We got a lot of competition, right? You can't be coming soft and weak and half-stepping with the Most High. We serve the Most High power. He's greater than all them many guys, right? So we got to come hard with our stuff. You can't just be half-stepping and have your stuff not mixed right, and you got to come with it. So all praises.
Man, he said something powerful. He said the devil his music is making people actually go and do things. They're killing in his music. They're like, go jump up, nigga. Excuse my language, but whatever Lil Jon says, people are doing, and it's actually telling people what to do. Our truth music needs to tell these people to come to the truth. Because he's no different than playing a flute like Pan, just leading people to evil. Are we not better than the devil? Do we not have Christ inside of us, right? So that was great what my brother said there. Let me go to my next question here. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up soon and go into this good old freestyle. Okay. What is something that people would be surprised to know about you? Short and quick and sweet.
Something that people would be surprised to know about me.
He got smooth. Very right. Something that people be surprised to know about.
I don't know.
The wife might be listening. Hold up now. Nah, I'm joking, man.
Hey, I don't know. People be surprised to know a lot of things about me.
Cause some people be thinking you be looking mad because that's your little regular face, right. But I ain't gonna take it. Answer your own question.
No, it's kind of funny what you say, right? I think something that people would be surprised to know about me is I'm more so of an introvert, right? Like like Kendrick Lamar said on one of his songs, like I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I'm not shy, but my point is that I'm not one of the people who likes to be in the spotlight, who likes to be in the limelight or whatever the case may be. I know how to do it, you understand? So you even ask people in my congregation, sometimes they'll be like, are you going to perform at this show? Are you going to perform here? And I'll be like, nah, I'm not performing. They'll be like, you're not performing? I'll be like, man, I ain't got no new music out, boom, 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 or let somebody else perform. They'll be like, nah, we need you to perform. Like, if it's the work for the Most High and I need to do it for the kingdom for the Most High, then I'm going to give it my all. So you might see me on stage and I'm performing, I'm going all out. but it's because it's for the Most High. So I'll rehearse these things and I'll to do the best I can for the Most High. But I'm the type of person that would rather somebody else be in the spotlight and be the center of attention. I think they'd be surprised to know that. Also, like he said, a lot of times people be like, "Why you mugging?" I'll be like, "Damn, I'm mugging. Like, why you looking so mean?" I'll be like, "I'm looking mean right now." "Yeah, you don't never smile." I'll be like, "Okay, it's all right?" Like, I have to try to make light of situations or whatever, and that's just my regular face. But hey, the scriptures say a wise man seldom smile. You know what I mean? So say Christ was the same way, but I have to try to smile and try to make myself not come off so hard or whatever the case, but that's just me. So
his wife match him. You be looking over there, you be like, do they speak? No, but I used to get that same thing. Sometimes people's faces just set like that, guys. But no, he's a sweetheart, man. No homo, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, we know your wife sings. How did that love story happen in short? Break down. Well, yeah, we'll just short real quick.
And my wife gonna be like, hey, so look, it's crazy, man. I mean, but when I met my wife, long story short, like I was in the world when I met my wife, but when I met her, no cap, right? I felt like time was stopping and like the Most High was telling me like, this is your wife, like this is your wife right here. And like I was on my worldly mindset because I was out there trying to like, quote, do my pimp thing, like trying to get with different females and all that. And they came to a point to where the Most High, like I could even, like in Sirach 4:17, where the scriptures say that, the Holy Spirit will walk with you in crooked paths. Like even in the crookedness of my lifestyle at that time, I heard the Most High telling me like, look, this is the woman I got for you. If you want to go out here and be with these harlots, you can do that, but this is the one who you're supposed to be with. You either gonna have to choose one or the other what you want to do. And I felt that, and I was like, okay, this is the one I'm gonna be with, right? And she stayed with me into the truth. But when I was talking to her early on, it's like I seen she was, even when I was in the world, this was the first woman who I had got with that didn't smoke, didn't do drugs, didn't drink. She was the head of the choir. She loved God in the Christian church. Her family was in the church, right? So, of course, we elevated to the truth. And she used to, come around me. I'm smoking and all this stuff, but I still respected her for not doing any of these things. And I used to think I needed a wild female that was doing all the stuff I did, but the Most High showed me, like, this is the one you need.
Why do we think this is real? Why do we think this is real?
Right. And so when I seen that, I'm like, okay, this is the one I need, the one who's not doing all this wildness, and I'm wild enough. She needs to balance me, right? Because the wild ones, it never worked out. So
yeah, okay. And
then it's like, but now I see in the truth that my help meet. Look, y'all gonna hear the new album coming out soon. It's like she on 80% of the album, right? It's like she's a help meet. It's like this is who the Most High have for me to help me progress and do His work.
Man, all praises. All praises. Bless you, my sister. Sister Zamariah.
Zamariah.
Break down some of your lyrics for us. Help us understand the meaning behind them. Like just pick something, like something that something that people may. Like when you listen to your music, you're like, man, they might not understand what this is talking about. Just one, if you can. If not, we can.
I mean, just like random, right? I know that I got a song called Soul Cry. Matter of fact, brother Tyler Bob back here, right? He sang the hook on Soul Cry, and that came out on my first album. Like I think that was 7-8 years ago, and people still come to me this day and tell me that like Soul Cry is one of their favorite songs, right? But it was funny because a brother came up to me the other day, and one of my lyrics when I start out one of the verses, I say I got lust pulling to the left, worries pulling to the right. I hear the devil yell, "Pull!" I'm a target in his sight, right? So it's like he came to me, Brother Yashab, I'm gonna put you on the spot, and he said, "Man, I just heard when you said that, I just realized what that meant." He was like, "Man, that was deep." I've been listening to that song, right? And I had a sister come the other day at church and was like, "Hey, that song is deep. I love that song, like the lyrics or whatever." And Tyler Bob killed the intro and the hook, but it's like, right, like you got lust pulling to your left, worries pulling to the right, hear the devil yell, pull. So it's like when you throw the shot put with the shotgun, they throw not the shot put, but they throw the disc, right?
Yeah.
For the people to shoot in the target, and they say, pull! And then they throw the target and they shoot it and they bust it, right? So it's like, pull it to the left, pull it to the right, hit the devil, yeah, pull, I'm a target in his sight. Then I say, gotta leave the country, spread the truth, and Babylon is falling. Gotta warn my in-laws and the mother of my daughter. So at this time, of course, it wasn't my wife, it was my oldest daughter's mama. And I say, gotta warn my in-laws and the mother of my daughter. I say, if she say my daughter can't leave, it's gonna be a problem. She say, give her one good reason. I can't list all of them, but the government is crooks, lying, poison, killing us. They say the ones that's upright, they really be the crookedest. Look at us, pants sagging, agging, rolling, loking, smoking, kill over will spoken, emotionless. Lest we see a dime in an Ephraim dress. We get an F for effortless, because we don't address her outward breasts. And yes, PMS, because it's all a vicious cycle. They turn Christ white worse than they did to Michael.
Bars.
Look at, I can't recall the rest of the verse right now, but it's like, you understand, but you got to really listen to some of these lyrics.
Yeah, he's one of the rappers, and it doesn't take any away from anybody else, because we bring many catchy people. Some people do the catchy thing, and the children. I love the catchy thing for the children, because they don't understand lyrics just yet. Some of them don't, but they'll still be rapping the words, because you know my children know everybody's song. You know what I mean? They in the living room. Sometimes I come in the living room, they just having a party. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? They be listening to everybody. So all praises.
Oh,
man.
Look, and this is another thing. So you saying that my daughter Tora, that girl love that song Jungle. Hey, look. But that's like our praise to the Most High, because my oldest daughter, she loves War.
Yeah.
Right, that's her favorite rapper. Not my oldest daughter, but Mario. She's my
praises.
7-year-old. And then my youngest one, she'd be like, Daddy, she 3. Daddy, play Jungle, that Jungle. I'm like, man, I gotta send this to Ariana, because I'm like, but it's like, praise the Most High, they got positive examples too, right? So praise.
Let me tell you, when what's that song? I ain't trying to be famous. When the remix when Qadam verse come on, my 1-year-old, you know, what the Bible say that the law is a lamp. She like, hey, before it come on, we was like, what? Man, it's beautiful that we're breaking curses. So this is what we're doing. Not only are we breaking curses, we came on here tonight to just show that, listen, we don't need the world. We can do everything ourselves. But instead of just saying it, it's time to start doing it. It's time to start shooting movies. It's time to start doing all of the same things that these people. You think Hollywood started off rich right away? No. Hollywood started off in probably a less studio than this, and then it just started popping after that. So guys, we could do the same thing all the way to the wilderness, right? Let me see here. Do you have any before we close out to go to freestyle, any upcoming projects we can be excited about?
God, all praise to my brother back there, silly man. Hey, all praise to the Most High. I got the Indignation 103 dropping, right? People ask me, because I had in the first album, which was Indignation 101, and then I dropped the mixtape, Here Am I. The reason people say, man, they thought that could have been an album, right? But it's like, I just wrote that quick, and I wanted to just put that out to keep people, because people had been waiting a long time for this album, right? So the reason I called it a mixtape, even though some people said it had album quality, is because I didn't want them to compare it to Indignation 101, because I didn't think it was a comparison. But I got Indignation 103, which is part 2 to Indignation. The first one was Indignation 101. Some people will say, well, why didn't you call it Indignation 102? And I did it because it's like kind of like an English class, like a college class, like 101, and they got the 103, right? So
Gotcha.
This album I'm very excited about, man. I actually had like over 20 songs for the album, but I figured I was going to chop it down to 14 tracks, and it was hard, but now I think, in my opinion, praise the Most High, I got like 14 just banger tracks. I got Lion and King on the album, right? Tazabah, my wife, Paisley, War, Aquan, Ahab. I got, you name it. I got brothers and sisters on the track who are really blessed, praises, and that's dropping in the next week or two, right? Praise the Most High. Let's say I'm hoping to have it out by First Fruits for sure, which is May 6th. Deacon Micah Allah Maestro, he made some of the beats on there, and he's doing all the mixing and mastering. So, hey, look, I'm putting my whole heart and soul in that thing. I hope y'all like it. It'll be available on Bandcamp, which will be Qadam Rawchaa.bandcamp. First, it'll be available there first for free download or donation, right? Because we put a lot of money into these things. And then, about a week after that, it'll be available on Apple Music, iTunes, all the other platforms. So
I'm glad you said that, because that was going to be my next question. How can your followers support it, and where can they purchase it from? So he said that, guys, we're going to go straight into to show you why they call him Qadam Rawchaa. We're going to show you how the Most High been using this brother with this freestyle. So, guys, we're getting ready to have some fun. So stay tuned. Get your mind right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, my people? We did the interview with my brother Qadam. Now he's gonna come through and spit that hot fire. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna let the cameraman say the rest. What the cameraman always say? Know what?
No stress, stay blessed, and get your mind right. Know
Let's get it, baby.
Yes, sir. Hey, we're gonna hit this acapella, right? For all them lyricists out there. I say, look, we illuminating like heaven, radiating all over our body, bringing hell to their gods, have them running like Ricky. Our boys in the hood when they shot him. Got him. False guys point him out, huh? How this happen? I'm about to relapse. What you mean by that? I'ma smoke them all with no passing. To be more specific, I break down religions and twist it and lit it and hit it. Exhale till you get it. That contact will make you feel different, like presidents, witches, doctors is wizards, occupation killing. As euphemisms, they be worshiping lizards that make their decisions. Come over here tripping, we'll bang with them hands just like paper, rock, scissors. But it's rock over paper. Yeshaya the rock for the paper. These fakers will make a U-turn on they maker. Let Satan take them, make them up in some makeup and dresses like cakes. But Yeshaya gon' bake them. But instead of an oven, it be in a lake. Hollering R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Me, Aretha Franklin. I went from swinging a Cadillac to swinging a battle axe. Desegregation, all white on my brown skin. Sun and moon fall in. Out the sky saying, you messing up our rotation. Yeshaya is back. He got Babylon burning. Now that's smoking one for the nation. I'm hollering out past that, past that. Hey.
Hey. Know so much.
Yeah, my brother. Already. That's how we do it down here. You understand, in the H-Town. You understand, we don't play around. Now I'm just joking, man. My brother came through. You understand, with the crazy freestyle, and we coming back for part 2. So get your mind right and get ready. You know what I'm talking about?
Buddha.
All praise to the Most High. Qadam Rawchaa. Let's get it. Look. Perfect weapon, cause I used to work for Satan, so he'll never see me coming. It's an inside job. Going for the neck, then I'm gripping and I'm shaking like a pit bull, locking me up in that jaw. Connected like Elijah, ministry and flame of fire. All around us, Holy Spirit on the inside, mom. People started tripping, saying how you was slipping. Now they finna feel it finished, cause they been that guard. Look up off the coast of the 13th tribe. It's a book about the folks in this real been lying. Bible say knowledge increasing in the ending time. Wisdom, your stability, you'll be just fine. Say bloodline, got the whole world blind. They're the sinners to the Rome empire that's high. Mitigating the throne, be a Babylon smiling. Representing the eagle and all seeing eye on a dollar. Set the kids, set traffic kid to an island. Ratchetness, extravagance, then you wildin'. What happened then? This is 6 angels defiling. Women with beautification and violence. Enticing and splicing, enchantment and diamonds. Light men, lightning sense to reality. Sacrificial, ritual, cannibals. Adrenochrome tipping that blood out of vials. I ain't trying to fit with these nations at all. Trying to make them forget we a nation at all. I represent cause they hating it all. And I ain't giving in to the Satan at all. My heritage, yeah, I'm taking it all. With my heart and my soul, I ain't faking it all. Take part in a party on Sabbath. Nah, no offense, but I see y'all tomorrow. This what we doing. Woo!
Know so much.
Hey,
Hold up.
Hey, I'm about to say this whole, but look, this show is crazy.
Listen, let's see what Elder got. You know,
crazy.
let's see what we got.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. I'm warning, alarm, and the storm is about to rain on your lawn. And Rawchaa blowing that trumpet, act dumb if you want, but even the ears of the corn, here it is. If you want in fear, leave it home, dear. Jacob better wake up, cause the Savior coming back, and he moving in the bird like B. Better serve my king, the undertaker is the maker and creator. Got me rooted in the world like a tree in the ground. We all around, peace in the crown, like a parachute waiting for the key to come down. Creeping on the ground in the bunkers with numbers like hunters, about to make the elite come out. Morning in the morning, evening, night, how my life been, bro. Look, when I floss, don't need no dental. Be in the kingdom with my kinfolk. Look, my time now, yours ain't today. My way up, yours like anchor way slow. Content, so I can't complain no more. Righteousness, that's my main goal. No, talking about.
Yes, sir. That's the main
Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Malak.
Hey.
Recall my lock, I praise the Father, I'm still alive, and he didn't cause my heart to stop, cause I was out in the world with my on Glocks, and now the only M.O. is the on the pop, in the midst of the belly dry bones. Hey. It's real, we coming back home, back to the throne, the trumpet is blown, Revelation 14, we humming that song that nobody else know, stuck together like Velcro, having all things common, the same makers coming, but my Father made a promise, let's swarm me, shall Allah go and pray homage, to a higher by Hashem, Yeshaya, walk, amen. Our captivity is up and now it's time for our land. Your bitch body getting sunk in the sand. The Pope in his land got us drunk in the land. The bullets, the truth, and the pump in my hand. I'm about to start spraying, only some understand. What you thinking that his eyes blue? Yeah, the Esau beguile you. And your eyes for the liars. For my people destroyed, for the lack of knowledge. He coming back with the eyes of the five big Judah we roused up. Come together, that's power. Oh, Satan trying to stop us. We ain't even worried cause we know that the Most High got us. Don't believe it, just watch us. Let's war like a book of Jasher. You want troops, couldn't look to the pastor. Talking about a rapture. I ain't with that stuff, we just like you, and we are not masters. Back to the chapter.
Hold up.
Straight up in the field.
Listen, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and wait on the next one, cause this is the vibe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Man, I appreciate you coming through, my brother.
All praise.
You know what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
you having me.
Tazabah. I appreciate you letting us get the studio, my brother. You know, it's like greet the brother with a holy kiss. You know, we gotta drop that pride and show that love to our brothers. You understand? So make sure y'all subscribe. And guess what? We gonna be back with the interview with my brother Tazabah, because he's a very talented brother. And let me tell you, we got so much to come. You're gonna see us with live performances, live mini concerts. So get ready. You understand? All praises be to the Most High. You understand?
Yes,
Blessings to you all. We'll see you all soon. Live on G.O.C.C. Media with Elder Rawchaa. Peace and blessings.